Have you ever saw someone do something completely irrational and thought, why would they want to do that? Or wondered, why do countries go on war over pride? Or noticed that there's always this one kid in group assignments that ends up doing all the work, whereas other teammates just get away with writing their names on it? Well, psychology has the answer to all of these questions because psychology helps us understand the human thought, behavior, and emotions, and obviously relationships in every situation imaginable. Here's the thing, psychology isn't just one subject, it's more like a tree with same roots and different branches. When you study these branches, you start understanding why psychology can be seen literally everywhere. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. When we ask ourselves, why are we different from each other? It could be because of personality. Well, it's a very simple answer to a very complex question, but it's true. Some people would love partying, whereas other people would love to be in a blanket with a book and a good cup of coffee. And that's exactly what personality psychology tries to understand. Why are we different from others? And it tries to understand the unique traits, emotions, behavior, and the tendency of us humans to behave in a certain way in particular situations. It tries to understand what makes each person them. Abnormal psychology is one of the most interesting fields out there, and majority of the psych students look forward to study this subject in their curriculum. That's because this field tries to investigate the mental health conditions of psychological discomfort, which leads to psychological disorders like anxiety, depression, OCD, schizophrenia, the popular ones. But that's obviously not just to categorize what's wrong or abnormal with these people, but the ways that we can come up with better treatments and coping strategies, and in short, just make their life more manageable. That is why it's one of the most interesting fields out there. But moving on to behavioral psychology, you know how you end up scrolling for hours on your phone on YouTube and Instagram? That's not an accident and that's not you being lazy. That's just behavioral psychology being used on you in real time. As the name suggests, it studies the observable behavior, or why a person is behaving in a certain way. The core idea of this field is simple, that all behaviors are learned and rewards strengthen behavior while consequences weaken it. A child might get better grades because he is getting praised by the teacher and the parents, and a person might avoid doing something because of the bad outcome that would come after. This field is extremely important and it sets an example because it is being used in real time, not only on Instagram and YouTube, but in parenting techniques in classroom, and taught, and teachers are taught how could you manage children in a classroom. They are given behavior modification techniques like getting a sticker when they do something good. So basically this proves how psychology can be seen literally everywhere. You're not exactly like you were when you were 1 year old, right? You have grown physically, you've grown emotionally, you've grown mentally, you've grown socially. I mean, you might have more friends right now than you were 1 year old, right? The point is that developmental psychology tries to understand the changes that come across from infancy and conception to death and old age. And more importantly, it tries to study what drives these changes. For example, your culture, the school that you went to, how your parents were, the socioeconomic background that you come from, everything outside you, the environment, and everything within you, meaning genetics. And sometimes when we wonder who we really are, the answers most probably trace back to our childhood. We have the ability to recall something absolutely embarrassing that happened to us like 7 years ago on a random night, but on the other hand, forget why we entered a room like 30 seconds ago. That's kind of how your memory works, and that is what cognitive psychology tries to understand. It understands the mental processes that happen in your brain, like your memory, for example, attention, how you think, the imagination that happens in your head, the daydreaming, and the dreams and stuff like that, basically. Nowadays, when people end up going to the doctor, they hear the same thing: don't take too much stress. And that is because now we have studies to prove that stress gives people heart attacks, or that loneliness shortens lifespan, or that optimism genuinely speeds up recovery. Health psychology genuinely proves the fact that our body and mind are literally one unit and they work together. That is because it studies the emotions, the feelings and thoughts and habits and lifestyle literally affecting our physical health. It explores how people with illness could manage their chronic conditions and also the psychological weight of being ill. Health psychologists work across hospitals, research institutions, and obviously the public health systems, trying to make sure that the mental health aspect of physical illness is not being ignored. Coming to industrial organizational psychology, so psychology has some principles, and when you apply these principles to workplaces, it becomes industrial organizational psychology. In fact, the applications and the concept that it studies is so vast and so interesting that I've literally noted them down. Wait a second. So, the things that it studies or it teaches is workplace behavior, motivation, leadership, teamwork, job satisfaction, and how to create an efficient work environment. And the applications are recruitment, employee training, performance evaluations, organizational development, like literally teaching how to build organizations. And one person could be an HR specialist, an organization consultant, corporate trainer, and workplace researcher. This field is literally booming, and corporate settings need and they constantly keep on recruiting people who are studying this field basically. This topic is way too vast, and I have divided this entire topic into two different videos. That is because cognitive psychology tells me our attention span is genuinely fried. So, do make sure that you watch the second video because I have explained why I chose this topic to make a video on the second one. So, till then, bye.